Hi there, Stampers. This is Diane Keogh at dianescards.com. Today I'm going to make this card with you, but I'm really going to concentrate on showing you and giving you some tips on heat embossing. It's one of the easiest methods to really enhance your card, and one that with a few little tips and tricks you can do a great job. On this card that I'm going to show you today, I embossed the word shine, and then I did all these dots. So I think it turned out pretty nice. I made this for a global design challenge to use mint macaroon, blushing bride, and rich razzleberry together. So I'm pretty pleased with how that turned out. So let me show you what you need for materials first. For cardstock, as I said, we're using blushing bride, and we're going to cut that out with this die called Sunburst, and you just line it up however you want. If you want it spaced like this, however, I kind of did it this way on the big shot. So you're going to use the die with the blushing bride. Then we'll have this for the background. This is rich raspberry, and this is mint macaron. That'll be for our card base. This is a scrap that I'm using for the shine. I cut that out, punched that out with the 2-inch circle punch. I used some mint macaron satin ribbon, and the stamp set is Sunburst Sayings. It coordinates with that die. You've got some great sentiments here, and you also have some nice background things. We're going to use this little one here. Obviously we need Versamark, and I shouldn't say obviously. Obviously Versamark is what you use when you're doing heat embossing, because it's a watermark stamp pad. It's going to be very sticky. It takes a little while to dry, which is a good thing. The other thing that you need when you do heat embossing is your embossing buddy. And for example, I'm going to rub it on here, and you have to be careful when you are on a dark surface. You don't want to, I'm not going to emboss in here, but you don't want to do this. See what happens? You just want to rub back and forth. So fortunately I'll use the other side. So you're just going to rub, and what this does is remove any oils from your skin that may have gotten onto the cardstock, and it tends to keep the cardstock from attracting pieces or little tiny parts of the embossing powder that will be in the wrong places. And that's real important when you do use dark color. I am going to do this, but gently, because you can see that when I did the dots, some of it was on the blushing bride and some was on the rich razzleberry. So we'll just put that aside. And of course the most important thing is heat embossing powder. So it comes in a small container, nice little round container, but I tend to put it in one of these containers, and I found these little spoons in the dollar store, so it's nice. You'll see I'll just spoon it on, and then I like to use these little cheapy craft brushes, and you'll see what I do with that in a minute. So let's get started. We're going to first stamp the shine, which I have over here, with the Versamark. And over the years my Versamark's gotten a little funky looking, but it still works just fine. So I'm going to do it here, and now I'm being obsessive, but I know I did that. So we're going to do shine with the stamp with the Versamark ink on it, and you can barely see it. It actually shows up a little bit better on this color. I don't know what the light there, how that is. Oh, I turned the light off. I wanted to turn the fan off, so I think that's interfering a little. And now we're going to pour on the powder. Now you can just pour it on from the little jar and pour it onto a paper, and then pick up the paper and push it back into the jar. No problem there. I just like to give myself a little more room. Now with this, maybe I had some stray powder here. It happens that I don't, but I often do. That brush is what's cool for getting that off. So now I'm going to use our heat tool. This was one of the things I forgot to show you. Our Stampin' Up! Heat tool is the best. You see that it has a knob here? There's 2 speeds. And what that does is, if you have some other ink, maybe craft ink or something, that's you're in a big hurry, you want to dry it quickly, or if something maybe spilled on your card and you want to quickly get it dry, great for that. So there's two speeds. I usually use 2 for this, and I'm going to show you the best technique I have found. You do not want to go like this, like you're drying your hair. You know how you do when you're drying your hair? You want to start it in one spot, and as soon as that's warm, then move down. I think it's actually much quicker, and you're sure to have covered all of the area. So, sorry for the noise. I'll fast forward this. Now, I like to keep it on there until I'm pretty sure it's all embossed. And I like to also check, I'll get a good light. I have a little lamp over here. I'll get it under the lamp to make sure everything's done. I've never had this problem. A friend of mine tells me you can catch the paper on fire, but I think that's certainly wouldn't happen with a Stampin' Up! Heat tool. So we're now going to punch this out with the 2-inch circle punch. You could use the framelits. This is just quicker. So we've got that done. And now I'm going to, through the magic of video, I've already cut this out. So we're going to use a little adhesive. Yeah, I know better. You know, with the fast fuse, it's not going to come off. But you have to flick at the end there. They say do a check mark so that the adhesive doesn't get gummed up on the roll, that it really breaks that whole roll. So put a little in the middle there. All right, I've got that down. Now, I'm not going to put this on yet because I'm going to do some more embossing, and I'm just going to use the dots, one of the little stamps that's in there. You could use anything, because I just thought it needed a little jazzing up. So I'm just going to randomly put some. Sometimes it will be on the rich raspberry, sometimes not. That's okay. I can pretty much see where I've got the dots, but it is a watermark ink, so you're only going to see it a little bit. And sometimes I use Versamark as a background without heat embossing. It just gives a little shading. I like the look. You should try it. So we're done with that. And now we'll get back our cute little container with this is gold embossing powder. One of my recycled mats. There must be some glue or something on there. Oops. Okay. Well, that was a waste. That's going to get covered. All right, now I can see, is there something that I want to cover? Well, look at this. This is perfect. I messed up a little bit here, and I want to get rid of. Do you see this, where I pressed a little too hard with the stamp? See, even a seasoned stamper can do that. I don't often, but it happens. Oh, I want something there. Sorry, I wanted to blow away from the container there. All right, I'm going to do just one more. I guess I wasn't being accurate there. I did too. I should have cleaned off the stamp. All right, now we're going to get the heat tool. I do like to put the cover back on here. You know, you could be melting the whole thing together if you weren't careful. Never happened, but I always imagined that it might. So this little brush is good to clean things up. So This will be a little quicker because the tool's already a little hot. All right, so we have this all finished, and I did try to zero in so you could see the gold come up when the powder gets warm. I'm going to just trim off a little here. I didn't quite line it up correctly, and I don't want that razzleberry showing. You know, these things happen, even to the best of us. So, all right, and now this is going to be put on here, but before I do that, I'm going to put the ribbon around here. Now, I pulled out about 16 inches of ribbon. That's probably more than, that's way more than I need. All right, and then dimensionals on the back of this. All right. Could have gone that way. I just decided I didn't want it that way. Alrighty. So, my friends out there in stamping land, you should shine. Try to do some heat embossing. I love it, and I think you will too. I think it's just an easy way to get a special look on your card. Things you have to remember. You need to use your embossing buddy. You've got to have the powder. You might want to have a little spoon or a container, but you can certainly use the one that it comes in, little brush. And you have to have our excellent heat tool. And that's really the key to doing heat embossing, is to use your embossing buddy and the good heat tool. So thanks for stopping by today. I hope you've enjoyed this and that you will shine. Thanks so much.